Today we have the Jaguar F-PACE SVR. This is one absolute beast of an SUV and luxurious and comfy at the same time. This SVR sounds amazing to drive it. It's really fun to drive, and you've got some luxurious features in there, and it is just one classy beast. In this video, I'm going to show you everything on the outside, details on the inside, get it out on the road for a test drive. Let's get going. Real quick before I get started, thank you so much for watching. My name is Nolan. I do full reviews like this every single week, but so you can skip around from part to part in the video, look in the description for a chapter so you can go to whatever part you want to. Let's jump into it. Now, first thing, I want to start under the hood, because with this SVR, this is what really sets it apart from the other F-Paces, and it's this supercharged 5-liter V8. This V8 is going to give us 550 horsepower and 516 pound-feet of torque paired with an 8-speed automatic, and all-wheel drive is actually standard, so you've got some better traction and performance with this. And Jaguar says we can get 0 to 60 in 3.8 seconds. That's better than the previous SVR. And for towing, you can still actually tow about 5,300 pounds if you have it properly equipped, so that is nice that you don't necessarily sacrifice that, and it can still be a practical vehicle, as I'll show you on the inside. Miles per gallon, about 15 in the city, 22 on the highway. I'm not going to complain about that for a supercharged V8. Alright, let's take a look at all the exterior details on this F-PACE SVR, and as many of you know, this is the top trim. Now overall on the styling, you've got a pretty big beefy front end with this big grille. It's got this glossy black on it. I love the Jaguar badging, the SVR badging here as well. You can get a little different treatment with that with gloss black all around if you want. Big wide air intakes down here, and even some hood vents as well. So this looks and is ready to perform. What do you think overall of the design and the looks? These headlights are also going to be full LED, and you can see the little double J accent lighting as well, LED headlights and daytime running lights. And if you want to see these lights at night, I have a whole video showing them off and just how well they do, so be sure to check that out in the description below. Now hold on to your socks, because this pretty orange paint is about a $4,500 option. It's absolutely gorgeous. It's an SVO ultra metallic paint with a glossy finish, sanguinello orange. What do you think of it? In different lighting, dark, sunlight, it all looks really good. Let me know what you think below. Now 21-inch wheels will be standard, but these are the optional 22-inch wheels for $1,200. You've got a split spoke with the gloss black and the gray inserts. Kind of a unique look with the red caliper. You even have the vents coming out the back of the wheel wells. I think this looks nice, it looks aggressive. Huge wheels though. Now even though this can be performance oriented, you still got blinkers in the mirror, you've got automatic dimming mirrors, a reverse tilting mirror, and power folding. And to my surprise, you still get about 8.5 inches of ground clearance, so you don't have to worry as much about going over certain objects or dips and things like you do in a sedan. Coming to the back, you've got this pretty good sized spoiler back here, LED taillights, and the LED blinker. What do you think of that? A different look than the previous F-PACE with a more rounded look, F-PACE badging. And take a look at this exhaust. 4 big exhaust outlets coming straight out the back. I think it looks pretty sweet. Now coming to the cargo area of the F-PACE, performance and space don't usually go hand in hand, but take a look at this cargo area. It's actually pretty impressive. So you've got a power liftgate. This one surprisingly does not have the gesture liftgate, the foot activated liftgate on either side. So I'm a little surprised by that with this price point, but look at this cargo area. Throw that back, you've got quite a bit of space right here. I mean, this is actually quite long and fairly wide, and I've been able to fit a good amount of stuff back here without any troubles, like some of my daughter's things and toys and strollers and groceries. I love having these little cargo nets on the side. You can use this as a grocery bag hook or tie things down, or a cargo net, whatever you need. Even right here, another little hook there. You've got some actual tie downs here 4 of them all together in here to be able to tie things down. So this is really nice. There's also a 12-volt power outlet up there, and of course an LED light on each side. Another nice thing is you've got this cargo cover, so this will keep everything out of sight from anybody looking through the rear glass. But there's about 31 cubic feet back here. And another thing is a lot of vehicles are losing their spare tires, but you still get one here with this F-PACE. If you want to fold the seats down, you do have to reach through or come all the way to the back seat, and this does fold somewhat flat. It's on a little bit of an incline. I've got my car seat over there, and I'll talk about how well that fits in a second. But once you put this down, you've got about 69 cubic feet, so space and performance and practicality can go together. And one really nice thing is you've got this center pass-through as well, so you've got a 40-20-40 split. Excellent. Now, a quick note with Jaguar's key fob, it's a smart key system. You can turn your lights on, lock and unlock, open up the rear lift back. Got Jaguar written on the back. It's pretty big and bulky. It's got the smart key standard on every door. So you've got a sensor in the back, or you can push this button to lock it. Your mirrors are going to power fold. You do have a little bit of approach lighting as well. But my only complaint is there's no remote start on the key fob. You have to rely on an app to do that, which is kind of annoying. But you got some really nice material up here on the top, and I love how thick and wide this is. If you like to have your arm out the window, this is magical. And then look at this nice soft material right here. It's like a micro suede material. Looks really nice as well. And we've got a pretty big bottle holder there, which I'll show you in a sec. Our front seats are going to give us 3 position memory settings on here. That's for both driver and passenger, and you can get a Windsor leather with this insert like we have here, or a semi-aniline leather optional. But these seats are really nice. So you've got this Windsor leather on the side. They're like a performance-oriented seat. This whole insert is this like suede material, which is pretty nice. SVR branding on here as well. The contouring and bolstering is definitely performance-oriented, and I'll talk about comfort in a second. So this is actually like, it's a nice soft material, but the seats are pretty darn firm. I'll kind of talk about that soon, but this is nice and soft and squishy. I kind of wish we could have just leather throughout the whole thing. This is ebony with light oyster color. I love the color combo. The seats give us quite a bit of adjustment. So you've got your regular movements, tilt, recline, all of that, height adjustment, but you also have 4-way lumbar, and then you can adjust your bolstering with this by going up or down to squeeze you or give you more room. The steering wheel is also power adjustable, and it's heated and leather wrapped, and it comes out a good distance. I like the like 2-tone type of material on here, so it's still leather, but it's got a unique design and these pretty good sized thumb grips right here. And look at these massive paddles. So with that door pocket, it's big. I mean, my bottle fits in there really easily. These seats, like I said, they have memory settings. They also have heating, and they're cooled. So heated and cooled seats standard on this SVR. My only complaint is they're kind of firm, but as the week has gone on, I've gotten used to them. Now let's climb into the back seat. First of all, first stop on the door. This is nice, soft material. You've got the same trim, same materials here. The same like suede Alcantara type of material here, really soft armrest, and even a really big bottle holder down there too. For those of you with kids, I have a car seat with an extension piece on there, rear facing, and I can't fit it behind myself at 5'9", but it's pretty close, and this is a little more accommodating than you would expect, and you've got some really easy anchors for your car seats. Now sitting behind myself, one thing I've got to note is foot space is not that great because it's kind of bulky right up under the seat there. I could put my feet in the middle, but I can't really spread out at all. But knee space isn't too bad, especially for a performance vehicle. We've actually got some vents over here, and you have vents over here, and with our climate pack, we even have 4-zone climate control. That's really nice for your back seat. Tell you what, if you have family, you carry family around, they're gonna love this. They can have their own temperatures, control their fan speed, push this in, and you even have heated seats on here as well. There's no ventilated seats, but you get heated seats, and for a $100 option, these 2 USB charging ports are available. They should be standard, but you have them as an option, and then you've got a 12-volt power outlet here. So family, friends, everybody's covered in the back seat. There is a center folding armrest here as well with some padding and some decent sized bottle holders as well. And we've got the panoramic glass that I'll show you a little bit more later. We've got this kind of almost see-through pattern here, and then you've got the glass that opens up. And look at this, we've got like a micro suede material all the way throughout this headliner, even into the back seat. The only knock on these seats is they don't have ventilation available, like some vehicles do, even though it is pretty rare, and these seats cannot scoot forward and backwards or recline. But still, for a performance vehicle, this is pretty nice back here. Now let's take a good look inside. So push button start right there. It's got a nice little growl and rumble right when you turn it on. So the steering wheel gives you all the controls that you need. It's a little bit, I'm not a huge fan of the buttons. I like Land Rovers a little bit better with the way that they're laid out, but it's very similar to Land Rover. These are just a little bit unresponsive sometimes, just a minor complaint. Heated steering wheel though, right there. One nice touch is this will give us rain sensing windshield wipers. And just like Land Rover, you've probably seen this before too. This looks very similar. The gauges are very nice and crystal clear. You can move the gauge from the middle. You can have gauges left and right, whatever you want. So using your steering wheel, you've got this menu that can pop up depending on where you have it set up. And there's a lot of information that you can customize on here. It does take a little bit of time to adjust things, but the layout is pretty cool. The gauges look nice. I think you'll enjoy driving this. So let me show you the 2-dial. It's where you have, your tach, your speedometer, and then whatever information you want in the middle. You can have a full-on map, all your driver assistant stuff, whatever you want. There is also an optional head-up display. It's about $1,000, but it does look nice and performs well. Over here, we've got even this soft material up here. You've got leather coming across the dash. The whole dash looks nice, feels nice, is solid. There's just nice materials everywhere, even coming down here behind the screen. This is actually a curved screen design, really unique. This also has the PV Pro. So this is an 11.5-inch PV Pro system with wireless Apple CarPlay and wireless Android Auto. I like how it takes up most of the screen, but you still have shortcuts and access to different things for your main system. Like for example, our camera. So you don't have to back out of stuff to get there. And this camera is just phenomenal. I mean, you've probably seen this on other vehicles like the Land Rovers that I've showed you before, but you can get some serious detail on these parking spots. So look, you can see exactly how close you are. It's really nice. You've got parking sensors front and back. Just works excellent. Same thing when you're backing up. But then going back into the main menu, this is customizable and there's so much on here that you can do and see. I've really come to enjoy it and like it. I love how you even have a little shortcuts setting over here. If you want to do auto stop start, brake hold, even if you don't have brake hold on, you can push your brake in far enough and it will activate. Quick customizations down here as well. It's pretty sweet. It's just really nice, everything that you can do on here. Now this will come standard with the regular Meridian 400-watt system, but we have the Meridian surround sound system, and it's an option for about $360. Totally worth it. 16 speakers, 650 watt. Now plug your headphones in because I got some binaural audio to record some music with it. Let's go. Now I showed you the camera, but let me go into reverse. So you do have dynamic lines, you've got the same 360 camera. You can get a parking assist system optional on here to help you parallel or perpendicular park if you want to. Down from there, you've got dual zone climate control. We actually have 4-zone, as you saw in the back with our climate pack, but I love having these knobs. You pull it out to do the fan speed, or you push it in to turn on your heated or cooled seats. So that's pretty sweet. Just down from there, you've got a wireless charging mat. It's also non-slip, so that's nice to store some stuff there. Back here, the shifter is a little bit awkward. If I had one little complaint, I don't really like it. I mean, it looks nice. You've got the SVR branding. It feels nice, but it's just kind of it's a little bit small, I think I would say, just in terms of where it is. When you have to kind of hold it and then pull in like that, not a big deal. You hardly ever touch it. You do have a volume knob right here. Otherwise, there's no like shortcuts to media, things like that up there. You kind of have to rely on the touch screen for the most part. You've got more capacitive touch buttons over here. I'll go through those a little bit later, including your drive modes. Bottle holder back here, they're two-tiered. So you've got, this one's a little bit lower and a little bit deeper. This one's a little higher, a little shorter. I like that, it works well. There's even little grips in there to hold things snug. Little storage area, 12-volt power outlet. Then right next to us, there's just a little shelf, like a little section down there on both sides to where you can just quickly stash some items. There's a little ridge to separate things, but it's rubber lined so things won't slide around. Coming back This armrest is not necessarily soft. It has a little bit of padding, but it's a nice material. It does move forward like that a little bit. Open it up, it's really small. It's softly lined, but you've got a couple of USB charging ports and a 12-volt power outlet. Also get a lockable glove box with a nice soft liner inside. Now overhead, we've got an automatic dimming rearview mirror. We don't have the camera mirror like we had in the last Land Rover I showed you, but we've got sunglass holders up here, even though they are on the small side, but they still work. Overhead, of course, you're gonna have all LED interior lighting in here as well. And like I showed you in the back seat, we've got this panoramic roof, which is actually standard. The only thing I don't really care for is the fact that the cover is somewhat transparent. So as it slides over, it does still let some light in. I wish it could be a full cover or have both, but let me know what you think. You can also get a gesture operated sunshade as well, so you don't have to fiddle with a button. You can just move your hand and then it will open. That's an optional feature, and this does give us some ambient lighting in here as well. Be sure to check out my night review to look at that. All right, y'all, we're behind the wheel of this Jag SVR, and it just sounds fantastic. I hope you can get an idea of that in this test drive. A couple things to note is this comes standard with a lot of driver assist features. So we've got blind spot indicators, you've got emergency braking, we got radar cruise control, we've got lane keeping system. It does not center you in your lane. It's just the lane keeping system to prevent you from leaving your lane, which is a little disappointing for this price point, but still, I mean, most of you probably ain't gonna care too much about that aspect of it, but this is an absolute blast to drive, and I hope you get that sense with this point of view test drive. So this does have the adaptive suspension from Jaguar. We're in comfort mode. You still get some nice sound out of here. And one thing about it is there's a little button over here that you can push to kind of amplify your exhaust. And we'll go through that in just a second. Especially when you go into dynamic mode, it automatically comes on. All right, we are now in dynamic mode, which is the fun mode. Pedal down. Just an absolute nasty sounding exhaust. It sounds amazing. Oh my gosh. And it holds those RPMs like crazy. You can use the paddles anytime you want to as well, so you don't have to be in dynamic mode or sport mode. Third gear, second gear. Pretty quick to respond, very quick paddles, very quick 8-speed. The hardest clunks, absolutely just blows it right out the back. Fifth gear. These paddles are quick. They're big and beefy paddles, just an absolute blast to drive. Now I'm gonna leave it in dynamic mode. You hold the upshift paddle down and it will put you back in drive. Now that's what it sounds like in dynamic mode, and our exhaust button is activated and is on. Once you get up to a few thousand RPMs is where you can really start to hear the difference. I'm gonna put us in comfort mode for just a second here. One thing I wanna note is a couple annoyances. This visor does not pull out. It's actually quite annoying. Really surprising. I don't know why they don't do that. And the other thing is, you can turn the auto stop start off, but it's really slow and really jerky. Sometimes it's worse than others. I mean, if you got a quick foot brake to accelerator, you're not gonna want to have it on very much. Now we're just in comfort mode. You still get some nice exhaust. See, still sounds pretty good. That's with the exhaust button turned off. Let me turn it on. Regardless, it just sounds amazing. So still in comfort mode. in comfort mode, I mean, you still get a decent ride. This is a firm ride, as you would expect with this type of vehicle and this much power. So it's not like a super handler. It's not super duper flat and just absolutely solid to the ground, but it's a great blend of driving dynamics in terms of its handling ability, its power, and its comfort. It's a good balance of everything. So if you want this to be just an insane, powerful, beastly vehicle, you can have it be like that. Or you can daily drive it and it's going to be actually quite pleasurable to drive. I've enjoyed my time in it. It's a little firm for a family vehicle, but really, it is not bad at all. The steering is precise, but it's not sports car precise, even if you're in dynamic mode, which we are now. There's a quick little downshift. And one thing about this, there's not really a supercharger whine. I feel like you can kind of hear a little bit sometimes, but it's not like a Hellcat, for example. It's not quite like that. It's a very classy sound in here while still having some power. That never gets old. It just is so fun to drive this. And the brakes actually do a really nice job. The brakes feel very solid. We've got the huge red calipers on here, and they just do a good job overall. One of my complaints though would be, I love the sound of the powertrain, but there is more road noise in here than you'd expect. We don't have laminated glass over here. Maybe that's a safety issue with a powerful vehicle like this. You know, in case you end up somewhere, you can't break the glass very well with laminated glass, where you can with this glass. But it lets in quite a bit more road noise than expected. And that's probably partially due to the tires. We got 22-inch wheels. We don't have laminated glass. You know, for a $96,000 vehicle, I was expecting a little bit quieter, but it's not, I won't say it's loud. It's not that bad with that, but something to keep in mind. Day-to-day driving, I love driving this. I mean, I love having the screen right here. This PV Pro system works really well. Customizable gauge cluster, get it set, you can kind of just forget it. Looks nice, very comfortable materials all throughout. So it's just very well balanced with performance and day-to-day driving, something that you can live with. So to wrap things up on this F-PACE SVR, it's a beast that you can live with, a V8 that you can easily live with and love to live with, because it's just nice inside, it's luxurious, it sounds amazing, it drives well, but it's still great as a daily driver and practical. Now honestly, I haven't been in a lot of competitors to this, so I can't really talk about those, but I know from my experience in all kinds of different vehicles, and even some Land Rovers and another Jaguar, that this is pretty darn nice. It's a very well done performance SUV, but I would love to know what your thoughts are down below. I hope you enjoyed this video and loved the sound of this just like I did. Leave your thoughts down below. Subscribe if you want to see more videos, and a thumbs up would be super helpful. Thank you so much for watching.